Shaka Dudu in the house. And I'm doing this because, like I said, I never paid attention to the voting. I never voted in my life. I never paid attention to the voting, the politics of it, none of that shit. I never paid attention to none of that. You know, the voting, how I went, none of that. I never paid attention to one bit of the voting when they did the voting, and I never have. I never gave for it, but I was looking at some shit today, and they were talking about how the motherfucking Latinos, you know, the Latino mutts, thought we was immigrants. You know what I'm saying? The black Americans. You know, like they thought we was fucking immigrants. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? How in the fuck? But so I'm looking up the shit, and they had a bunch of you know, black Americans just talking about the situation. You know, talking about it, saying how, you know, is y'all out y'all fucking mind? You know what I'm saying? And, but see, a lot of them that was talking about it, they were still talking like as if they brought us here from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know how we got here? You know what I'm saying? We was here before the foundation. You know, they brought us here in chains, and but of course, a lot of people are waking up. They didn't know yet. The people that were just talking about it on that page that I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? But where not only not immigrants, like I told y'all when I did other ones I did, you know, we ain't no fucking immigrants at all. You know, this is our continent, you know what I'm saying? That's what I said. That's why they can't send us nowhere. Like you mutts, you know, all you fucking mutts that, like I told y'all, broke your fucking necks to come here. All you mutts, all you fucking mutts that's all up in here. All you fucking mutts that's up in this country working. That's what y'all came here for, to work. Uh, you know, y'all all came from somewhere, you know, and came here. You know, we didn't do that shit. We didn't do that much shit, you know what I'm saying? Come running here, you know, to work for these motherfuckers. Like I said, you know, man, we've been on this continent for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, you know, as blacks, just like, you know, we was all on the other little islands in Mexico, you know, they was all blacks, but, you know, they got genocided. And to the mutts they are, but, you know, these same mutts, then I was looking at it and they were saying how, you know, the Latino race, the reason why they voted for Trump to try to get rid of the birthright citizenship, which, you know, it was made for slaves. You know what I'm saying? You know, like babies of slaves, they're natural citizens of the country. Because you got to remember back then, you know, when they freed the slaves, so they made it to where that was made for us. So once the slaves, you know, was freed, now we truly birth citizens here. So they was trying to vote for Trump so they can be able to, you know what I'm saying? They thinking we immigrants, you know what I'm saying? And do all that shit. They try to do everything we do, but it backfired because, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Trump earlier today was, you know, I was looking at it. He was giving a speech about the slave baby birthrights, and now all these Latino mutts who trying to constantly compare themselves to us and living all around us and all this shit and whatever. Now they're seeing, you know, what the fuck, I've been told y'all to stop comparing yourselves to us. You know, none of you mutts with dog fur and pig skin are us. You know, y'all used to be us. You know, now you're fucking got this beast in you. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, now as you see, they're deporting all these motherfuckers. You know, running down the warehouses, deporting them, and of course the fucking Latinos, they're looking at us. You know, because like I told you, a lot of these fucking immigrants, these illegal immigrants that come here are ignorant to the motherfucker. They don't know shit. Even the lies that's made up about history and everything, they don't even know that shit. They come from these countries, you know, ignorant and mudded the fuck up. Don't know nothing. So they come here and they don't know nothing about America. I mean, they don't know shit, not even the lies about it. So they come here and they look at us blacks and think we lazy and compare each other. Because, you know, they come here and work. You know, these mutts come here and work 2, 3 jobs and just work nonstop. So, of course, they're looking at us, the same motherfuckers they're around because they're living around us. You know what I'm saying? They brought these motherfuckers here and put them in our communities. And then gave these motherfuckers all kind of grants and opened up their stores and, you know, made it convenient for them. You know what I'm saying? Made it convenient for them so you can be here. Like I said, you see how it is. They made Spanish, which is, from Europe, but they made that a second language in America. You know what I'm saying? Made it to where everywhere you go, it's English and Spanish. Now, if you are a legal citizen of America, legal, which means you born in America, went to the school system, grew up in America, you know how to speak fucking English. You know how to speak English. So when I remember back in the 90s, when they started pushing Spanish into the economies everywhere, whether you on a phone calling the place, it said in English first, then it said in Spanish. You on a phone, you could be somewhere in a DMV or anywhere. They're saying English, then Spanish. Press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish. See what I mean? That's not for no other language here in America. There's no other language in America where they did that. They did that to cater to the illegal immigrants. You know what I'm saying? The same motherfuckers they're kicking out the countries now. You know what I'm saying? America is the one that made this problem. They the ones that did this when they was bringing them in here for cheap labor in the 80s and the 90s when it started. Bringing all these motherfuckers for cheap labor and bringing them in here and then throwing them in our neighborhoods and, catering to them. You know what I'm saying? Helping them. Come here and letting these motherfuckers get all these jobs and warehouses, full of them. You see how they leave warehouses full of Mexicans, all of them illegal immigrants. And, the owner know that. Then they try to play stupid when they come get them. But my point is, they did that to cater to them. Because like I said, ain't nobody fucking born in this fucking country. Anybody born in fucking America, you know how to speak fucking English. Plain and fucking simple. That's common fucking sense. Anybody born in this fucking country, you know how to speak fucking English. So if they got fucking Spanish like that, it's not for nobody born in this country. It's for people not born in this country. Illegal immigrants. So they did all this for these decades, catering to these illegal immigrants, mainly the Latino race, allowing them to come here, get these jobs, do all this stuff, build these communities, all this stuff, doing all this stuff, till it just got to the point where it got out of fucking control. They got fucking hundreds of thousands, millions of these motherfuckers coming over here by the weeks. Millions. These motherfuckers flooding over here by the week coming. You know what I'm saying? Illegal. And like I said, they come here, don't know nothing. Don't know how to don't even know how to speak English. You know what I'm saying? And then they look at us blacks. And as they're here, if they're here, working, doing them, whatever, working, they're around us. And we're around them. So these motherfuckers see how we is. They see how our areas are fucked up. They see we're in and out of jail. You see motherfuckers drugged out. You basically see these group of motherfuckers are the non-sayers, the outcasts, and the whatever. You know what I'm saying? The bottom feeders of this country. So you come here, and you're that from your country. All these mutts that come here to America, they're the nobodies, the poor people, the nobodies from their country. That's why they come here. Because they fucking nobodies from their country. They ain't got shit. So why would you come here? You doing real good where you from if you somebody. So they come here and they get here, they get a little something, they get a little job, get some, get something, start doing good. So now they looking down on us. See what I mean? And so now as they're getting deported, you know what I'm saying? Getting deported. As they're getting deported, these motherfuckers looking at us, trying to look at us or, what about the blacks? You know what I'm saying? Can they get deported or, look here, mutts, we've been told you, motherfucker. And then, of course, they tried to see if we was going to be down with their little movement, the little marching, which, of course, they see we didn't have nothing to do with it. I don't know if it was some blacks that went, a few, but I didn't see none, because we wasn't having nothing to do with it. We ain't having nothing to do with it. Like I said, we already know, just like all these mutts that's in this country, we don't fuck with these mutts, and they don't fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we don't fuck with them, they don't fuck with us. We just have to live around each other and exist around each other. You know what I'm saying? But everybody know, you know what I'm saying, the Latino motherfucking race, they do them. The Latino race, they do them, they been doing them. You know what I'm saying? Just like all the other, motherfuckers here. You know what I'm saying? It's just now we doing us. Us blacks, we doing us. And all the other motherfuckers don't really like it. They don't understand it or overstand it. They just see, blacks all across the fucking globe slowly, not fast, but slowly starting to come together. Even the black Americans and the Africans, slowly, you know what I'm saying? Not fast, but slowly, we're starting to and understand each other. Because before, we always fucking didn't. They always, because we thought we came from over there. So anytime they came over here, we thought it was our brothers. They come over here, we would just, try to accept them and, and they will always not want to fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? We not knowing that they been told bad things about us. We're bad Americans. So, it was always a friction. For as the decades went on, we didn't fuck with each other. Black Americans and Africans, we just, y'all see how it is now. But slowly, we're starting to understand and understand each other. They're seeing why us Black Americans are the way we are. Like I said, you can't really understand somebody until you see what they've been through, walk them out in their shoes. So now the Africans, first of all, they're seeing, we didn't come from Africa. They didn't bring us here from Africa. We were already here. And a lot of Africans are starting to find that out. Just like a lot of Black Americans are starting, because we're all waking up. So a lot of Africans are starting to see now that, the Black Americans are not African Americans. They're, and they see, the ones who know we don't want to be called African Americans. We're the Black Americans, you know what I'm saying? The Native Americans, the real Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no fucking Indians. It's us. They made all that shit up, you know what I'm saying? That Indian shit, you know what I'm saying? To try to, make it all that. No, it was us. We was here fucking, you ain't gonna see no fucking Indians or no statues in this fucking country. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it was all made the fuck up. Ain't no fucking Indians. Ain't no fucking, that's why you see now, there ain't no fucking Indians. That don't even exist. You know what I'm saying? That's don't fucking exist. That's why it ain't no fucking Indians on no statues in America or North America. It's us. Whether it's down near Mexico, it's black faces on these statues. They call the Olmecs, but they're really the Aztecs. They got a motherfucking pyramids down in the Grand Canyon, and they got a thing like a Sphinx on it with a face, and what face it is? Our face. Of course, they cover it up. They're not going to show it. You see what I mean? But my point is, so now, the brothers from Africa, the ones who are, waking up and, motherfuckers who are knowing shit, they're seeing, first of all, we've been here. That we was here before they was here. They came here, lied, took our continent and shit, did all this fucked up shit to us. It's the reason why we're in this situation like this. Fucked off our, areas, did all this fucked up shit, put drugs in our areas and shit, put the drugs in our areas, and then ran off and made all kind of laws, to lock us up for it. You know what I'm saying? And got the nobody dick in the ass FBIs to come into our neighborhoods and watch us and investigate and put all kind of fucking secret indictments on us for selling this shit. When they the ones that put it in our community. Did all this shit and put these roaches in the projects with us and fucked off our music, putting violent agendas in our music to push violence in our communities. Everything that's wrong with our communities, the government did it. The government did all this shit to us. Meanwhile, they letting the mutts and the Africans come in the country and catering to them and helping these motherfuckers get businesses, have their own communities. Everywhere you go in this fucking country, you got Chinatown. They let these motherfuckers come in here because they owe them so much fucking money in debt from all they cheap shit they bought. Letting them come over here and open Chinatown and giving them grants and businesses in our communities. Same thing with the Arabians. Same thing with the fucking Latino. Everywhere you go, you got fucking, as they would call it, Latin America. Every fucking where. They got their little communities. But like I said, they cater to them. as they brought these motherfuckers here. After remember this, after the black Americans fought for, equal rights, fought, was killed, died, all that shit for 'cause the mutts wasn't here yet, and of course it wasn't no fucking Africans here. It was just us and the fucking white people in this fucking country at first, and we fighting for equal rights, fighting to be treated right, fighting for everything. Okay, we finally get it, and then the mutts start coming, and the Africans start coming. Back in whatever the '60s when it first started happening, and all that. Okay, now they start coming the '60s and the '70s and coming over, and they reaping all the benefits. We didn't get to reap the benefits that we fought because they held us back. The government held us back on purpose. And what they did is started bringing all the mutts here. Letting them come into our communities, forcing them to live around us, giving them grants so they can have businesses in our communities. See what I mean? And now as this is happening, and all of these mutts that are nobodies, but where they from? They the poor, they the nobodies, they ain't shit. That's why they come here for opportunity. And that's the time they here getting little monies, and now they having a generation of kids, and they're here having their communities, and the governments are helping them, catering to them, helping them build their little communities and build their little cultures and all this shit. But meanwhile, got their foot on us. See what I mean? All the mutts that's here in this country and the Africans, they catered to them as they brought them here. As they broke their neck and came here, they catered to them, helped them build their little communities, allowed them to have their little religions, whatever it was, free speech, all of this, do all that. Meanwhile, at the same time, they're keeping a foot on us, allowing all these motherfuckers to, prosper in this country. Make all kind of plans for them to go to school, where they can go to school and get certain jobs, all that shit. It's a reason why you got all certain type of jobs, and it's not because these motherfuckers come over here and just better than us. And I know these fucking mutts ain't no better than us. They not even half better than us. The fuck out of here. It's a reason why you see all these fucking Asians as dentists and doctors and Arabian motherfuckers as dentists, doctors, and all these, type of jobs sitting there looking crazy. What I'm saying? Because they helped them be in these positions. What I'm saying? They wouldn't help us. What I'm saying? They kept their foot on us, made sure that they kept this group of motherfuckers down. So now as you fast forward to now, fast forward all the way to now, fast forward after how many years it's been? 50 years since the 1960s in this country, 50, 60 years since the immigrants started, flooding the country and coming to the country. So now you see how America is just mixed. It's all kind of different ethnics. All of these motherfuckers look down on us and think they better than us. Why? I don't know. Because since they came here and been given opportunities and allowed to now live the American dream, and generation after generation have things, and their kids go to school, and they have things, kids, graduate, go to college, maybe get good jobs, and at the generation, they looking at this group of people, ain't doing nothing, they're not prospering, their kids ain't doing nothing together, so of course you don't know nothing. They don't know fucking shit. They just looking at us, just thinking whatever, getting more and more big-headed. Meanwhile, not knowing that the government has been strategically fucking these people off way before you mutts even motherfucking got here. As a matter of fact, they fucked y'all off even more because y'all all were fucking niggas. All you mutts that's over here in our motherfucking country, on our continent, thinking y'all better than us, judging us, and all of that. Y'all were us. Y'all was just niggas. Y'all was just niggas, and they came and genocided you motherfuckers. Turned y'all into the mutts y'all is. Placed motherfucking religions on y'all. Cultures. Languages. All of that. And here y'all motherfuckers go. Hundreds of years later, some thousands of years later, all rushing to the oppressor. The motherfuckers who got y'all motherfuckers like y'all is now and dying the fuck out. Because y'all all just Caucasians. All y'all motherfucking mutts, basically, all y'all mutts. Y'all all just Caucasians. And blacks, that's all y'all is. And now that the Caucasian DNA is taking over, all of y'all, that's why y'all all dying out now, because the Caucasian DNA is dominant. So Now that the Caucasian DNA is taking over y'all more, y'all all just basically Caucasians. That's basically what y'all are. Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Caucasian, Iranians, Asians, Jews, Italians, Hawaiians, Indians, India, and you keep going, whatever, South Arabia. These are all now just basically Caucasians. You know what I'm saying? All of y'all all basically Caucasians now. So that's the reason why y'all got all this motherfucking hate in y'all. You know, because y'all are Caucasians. So, like I told y'all, they made them weak and wicked. Weak, white. But that's what motherfucking white stands for. Weak. You know, deaf. You're weak. You know, you ain't got no color in you. You know, you're out of color now. You're deaf. So that's why y'all got all that hate in y'all. Y'all don't know it. You know, y'all just Caucasians. That's it. You know, y'all running around thinking y'all whatever title they put on y'all. And y'all living by it. You know, your cultures and you know whatever. But really, all y'all just Caucasians. That's all. You know, all y'all just Caucasian. Y'all all got the same fucking DNA. Y'all all dying the fuck out. And truth is, y'all all just food. You know, all y'all food. All y'all motherfuckers running around this planet with that stringy ass dog fur, that 6-ether fur, like all other animals. All these other animals on this planet you see running around, that's what they got. All 6-ether fur that just lay down weak because it's weak. That's why I don't stand up and just lay down because it's weak, you know. And it's pig skin and dying out. You know, all y'all dying out. Your birth rate's low. You're dying out. Y'all are food, you know what I'm saying, for the extraterrestrial races that created y'all. You know, the Palladians, the Luciferians, whatever you want to call them. Not the tall whites, because the Palladians and the tall whites are two totally different species. You know, of course, I thought that too. I thought the tall whites and the Palladians were the same motherfuckers, but nah. The tall whites, these motherfuckers average like 9 feet tall. You know, 8, 9 feet tall. 9 feet tall, that's the 9 feet. That's the average height of a motherfucking tall white, you know, their species. The average height of the Palladians are like 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? They're two totally different species. You know, the Palladians are from the Palladians constellation. The tall whites, I think they're somewhere towards the Sirius A, you know, Sirius B star system. I'm not sure. I know they're two totally different species. But the Palladians, you know, the Luciferians, the humans, as well as the reptiles that's on the Bureau, the motherfuckers who created us. You know, the humans that created them, not the reptiles, the humans, because on the Bureau they got, it's two halves of it. You got the north side of the planet, you got the south side of the planet. And I think, I'm not sure, the humans stay on the north side and the reptiles stay on the south side of the planet. So that's how they live. And, you know, when they came down here, the humans from that planet, the humans from, you know, Nibiru, they're the ones that came down here and did all that shit, you know, with the pyramids and all that shit in the different times, doing them resets. But at the same time, you have to remember that some of the bloodline were mixed. Like Anu had married Alalu's daughter. And Alalu was from the reptile side of the planet. You know, he was the one that was ruling at first. And then Anu took over and beat him in a fight. And then that's when Alalu got banished, you know, for his last days till he died. Banished to Mars, exile. And then that's when they made that face. That face on Mars, it's a face on Mars. Like a human face on Mars that you see, that we all see. That's Alalu. That's Alalu. You know, that's his face. They did that for him as a memorial. But anyway, Anu married. Anu, he married Alalu's daughter, or had sex, you know, whatever was with her. And that's how reptile got in Anu bloodline. So I think Enki, his son Enki, was the first one born. But Enki was born out of wedlock. And then so I don't know if Enki or LL. One of them was born from one of his reptile wives. Like when you gotta remember reptile, they look like humans. They look kind of like us. They're just reptiles, you know what I'm saying? But they look kind of like us. They do. You know, the humanoid, they look kind of like us, but they are reptile. They look different, but breeded with that. So half of his bloodline is half human, half bloodline. So my point is, when they was down here, the humans on the planet was down here doing all that, you know, as far as all of that and doing all that. But at the same time, you have to remember the reptiles was down here too. You know what I'm saying? The humans was the one down here. But at the same time, you have to remember the reptiles was down here too. They was down here too. The reptiles that was from the Buru. So they was all down here. You know, the reptiles, the humans, and then the Palladians that was down here. So they're all working together with this. They are. You know, this is a collective thing that's going on. You know, they're all working together. And the reptiles on the planet Nibiru, these the ones that eat fucking flesh. You know what I'm saying? They do, and so do the Palladians. But, you know, because they're reptiles, you know what I'm saying? And the humans, you know, but I'm not sure which group of reptiles the Palladians made the Caucasians for, as far as food. I don't know if it was the fucking Palladians, you know, on the planet Nibiru. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense if they did, you know what I'm saying, because they was the ones, or some other group of reptiles. You know, that's just whatever. But they made them for that reason. But I believe they made them for the reptiles on the Nibiru, because the Nibiru is the planet that's, you know, here. You know, it's on its way here now. You know what I'm saying? It's right there outside the solar system. You know, on its way. And they was the one. You know, everybody know. You know, the anarchy and the planet Nibiru. There's the one that's been involved with our history of this planet for a long time. And their DNA is what's in us. You know what I'm saying? Not the reptile motherfuckers, the human motherfuckers. That's how we got human DNA in us. You know, the blacks. Us blacks, the humans down here. That's how we got the fucking human DNA in us. Because the motherfuckers that created us, they was humans. You know what I'm saying? So when Ninga said took her DNA and put it with the ape, that's how we got here. So of course the human DNA didn't come from the fucking ape. It came from them. So that's how, you know, we became who we became. You know, we come from, you know, the humans here now, we come from the bloodline of the Anunnaki. You know, Anu and his bloodline, that's the bloodline we come from, because Ninga said, you know, his daughter, you know what I'm saying, impregnated, so that's the bloodline we come from, you know what I'm saying, Anu and the Anunnaki, them motherfuckers, and they're the ones made us for labor, you know what I'm saying, and then the Caucasians, in which that's all y'all are, you know what I'm saying, basically, the Palladians made them for food, you know, to eat, you know what I'm saying, so that's why, you know, the Caucasians and, you know, motherfuckers have the Palladians DNA in them, you know what I'm saying, the Rh negative blood type, you know, which means you don't have no vitamin D in your plasma, you know, you don't have no vitamin D in it, so, and the only beings on this planet, there is no other being on the planet that's Rh negative blood type except the Caucasians, you know what I'm saying, except the Palladians. Every other being, plant, mammal, reptile on this planet is Rh positive, just like us. You know, the blacks, we're Rh positive. You know what I'm saying? Which means you got vitamin D, the vitamin D from the sun in your plasma. The Caucasians are the only motherfuckers that don't. They Rh negative. You know what I'm saying? The sub races, they're not Rh negative. They're Rh positive because The only how the Caucasians are still RH, they became RH negative because when they breeded them back down, when they started mixing them, and then when they breeded them back down to damn near what they was back in them caves, that's when once they breeded them down to a certain point, they RH negative now. But the motherfuckers they breeded with and left the way they, what's the name, they're not RH negative. You know, they're RH positive still. But, so that's what's going on, with, all around this planet, You got all these sub-races, the subhumans, including the beast, which is the Caucasians, finding out in a quick way, because everybody's waking up, that the blacks are the original man, the only true humans on this planet, and who y'all think y'all are, that's us. Every single one of these subhumans, including the Caucasians and the subhumans that are on this planet, all the ancient cultures and ties that they think that they have to ancient civilizations that was here, they don't. They don't. They're our identities, what I'm saying? But like I told you, they came down here, genocided, and made all of these sub-races and held subhumans and gave them all of our identities, what I'm saying? And made them think they're, these, part of these ancient cultures that was down here. When they're all black, I mean, the evidence is in everybody's face, whether it's the statues, the hieroglyphics on the wall and the pyramids, everything, statues, bones in the ground, all of this shit, they're finding. Like I said, they have so many pyramids on this planet. They're everywhere. They got hundreds of more pyramids in Africa. They got pyramids in Asia, pyramids here in North America, pyramids down in, Mexico, pyramids under the water, pyramids in Alaska, pyramids on other planets. And guess who faces are on these pyramids? Human faces. You know what I'm saying? You got some faces that you see on certain carving planets there, like I was looking at the white boy was saying the motherfuckers that had the elongated skulls. Those was humans. You know what I'm saying? They had elongated skulls, but they was humans. If you look at their faces was like ours. But they just had the elongated skulls. They was down here. They was a group of civilized human beings that was here doing another reset. And they had elongated skulls that went kind of back like that. You know what I'm saying? But they was humans. I've been seeing the pictures of them. They was humans. They had big lips, they had big lips, nappy hair and everything. They was humans. You know what I'm saying? They just had elongated skulls. So you gotta remember, each group of humans during each resets was a little different. And y'all remember, I remember reading up about that. I remember seeing this white boy. He was doing the research and he was looking at some shit that they dug up. It had some shit on pyramids. And the hieroglyphics showing in the pyramids in this particular time. In the pyramids, it was showing the shit. And it had these beings. And they was black, like always, brown, black beings showing, but their heads was elongated. And I already knew what it was. I've been did the research. Them was just particular humans back then that had elongated skulls. But they were humans though, with big lips, black, all that. Like I said, with all these, these mutts around the planet that they made, including the Caucasians, they all been fooled. They all been fooled to think they're us. Just humans. They all think they're humans, which a human is not a Mexican or Cuban or Puerto Rican or Latin America or Asian or Middle Eastern. None of them. That's not a human. You know what I'm saying? A human is a non-ether being. A human is a non-ether being. You know what I'm saying? A melanated non-ether being. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You see this black, dark type of skin? That's a human. Hair. You know what I'm saying? This is what a human is. A human is a non-ether being. I've seen pictures of all kind of fucking humans from the different parts of the universe. I'm not lying. When I did research and going deep, I mean, I seen so many different type of humans, different type of textures. Some motherfuckers darker than us on the planet. Dark as hell, almost black. I seen some humans, green, blue, yellow. I seen some that was pale, what I'm saying, for real, really pale, but not pale like the Caucasians pale, like really like I remember seeing it. They were like a kind of for real, When I say pale, like their skin was kind of like a whitish, but they looked just like us. They looked just like when you looking at me, a motherfucker with a big nose, big lips, nappy hair, but their skin was more like powderish, you know what I'm saying? Not like Caucasians, the pig skin. It was different. But anyway, I seen so many different textures of humans all over, and they all had different some features, but they used different animals on different planets to whatever the breed. And like I said, a human is a non-ether being with hair. All humans in the universe have hair. Not that stringy motherfucking dog shit. You know what I'm saying? And not no motherfucking pale ass pig fucking skin that is not human. You know what I'm saying? Humans, like I told you, are non-ether beings with nine series in their DNA. You know what I'm saying? Melanated motherfucking beings. Like I told you all, the first humans, the first non-ether beings, the first humans they made, I told y'all over 1 billion years ago, in the Lyran constellation on the planet Vega. The Irma species made them. You know, the lion species, they made them. When then right after that, the Orion War started. They made them, you know what I'm saying? And they made the first humans, and they was black, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Anunnaki, the ones that came down here, you know, the human side of the planet, that bloodline comes from the first humans they made, you know, over 1 billion years ago, you know what I'm saying? And when all of them, they come from that bloodline. But yeah, over 1 billion years ago, the first humans they made, you know, was black melanated beings. Now, their particular DNA that they used to mix and make them, of course, it wasn't the fucking the ape. I don't know what particular animals they used to make the first humans over 1 billion years ago in their DNA. You know, which put and then they made it, but when they came here to this planet, you know what I'm saying, over 1 billion years later, and then came to this planet and did what they did to make us, this particular human race, they used the ape. And they used it with their DNA. And that's how they made us. See what I mean? So, but like I said, a human is not a fucking Caucasian, Asian, a Puerto Rican, a Mexican. None of this. These are all titles they put on all these motherfuckers. Like I said, a 7 ether being, a 6 ether being is not a human. A 7 ether being is not a fucking human. And that's what all y'all are. You know, all the subraces, they're 7 ether beings. A mixture of the 9 ether being us, 9 ether human being us, and the 6 ether beast. You know, and you mix that together, you got the 7 ether beings. You know, that's what all the subraces is. But like I said, a human is a non-ether melanated being, you know what I'm saying, and with hair. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have fucking hair, you're not a human, plain and simple. It don't matter your complexion. You could be light than a motherfucker. You could be light as hell, but you got hair, you know, you're a human. You know, you're a non-ether being. Because if you have hair, you have 9 series in your DNA. See what I mean? You can't have hair if you don't have 9 series in your DNA. So you see some of these mutts like in Cuba and down in South America, they're actually humans. You know what I'm saying? Because you see some of these motherfuckers from Cuba or down South America or the Dominican Republic, and you see them, and these are real niggas. They got hair, nappy hair and everything. Now, they don't want to admit it, but, you know, these are humans, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I told you, when they did the process, and they mudded all these motherfuckers up, you know, it was all mixed. So my point is, if you're a motherfucker out there, it don't matter how light you is or how dark you is, if you got non-ether hair, you are human. You know what I'm saying? You're a fucking human. Don't matter your complexion. And like I said, there's humans all over the fucking galaxy. I mean, all over the galaxy and the universe. You know, there's so many kinds. We're just a certain type of humans. But like I said, Asian or Caucasian, none of that is a fucking human. You know, or Arabian. That's why you'll see none of these motherfucking beings walking on this planet, you know, that's titles. You'll see none of these motherfuckers on those statues, none of them. The only some motherfuckers you'll see on the statue is on Rome. You know, they made their own statues, you know, and put themselves as far as in ancient cultures and statues that's millions of years old, and in pyramids that's hundreds of millions of years old, and you seeing statues of humanoids and shit carved and shit. You'll never see none of these people on none of these fucking statues are carved in nothing because they didn't exist. The only motherfuckers you will always see is us black motherfuckers. Everywhere on this planet, everywhere you go on this planet, as they're digging up cities in the ground, finding pyramids and shit under the waters, finding all kind of ancient, it's always us, niggas. Whether they find statues of shit, artifacts, it's always black statues. They find a little black statues of. See what I mean? We had civilizations on this planet for hundreds of thousands, millions of years, all over the place. Not just in Africa. You know, that's what you gotta understand. Like, Africa ain't just the mecca of, you know, like human. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just like on this continent, we have pyramids on this continent. You know, blacks, us, we have pyramids. You know, like I said, down in South America, Asia, we have pyramids everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Everything. You know, natural resources. You know, everything. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Africa is the number one spot. You know, they got all the natural resources down there. That's why they went to Africa. That's why when the motherfucking ETs came here to get the gold, and even before then, them times, they always went to Africa and set up shop mostly because Africa is the place with the most natural resources. You know what I'm saying? So they went down there, and mainly, you know, of course, but they set up shop all over the planet. That's why, you know, they're finding fucking statues and pyramids and artifacts and bones in the ground of humans, you know, everywhere, all over this planet, because, you know, we was all over this planet everywhere. And now, slowly, everybody is waking up finding this out, you know, including the Latino community, motherfuckers who swore we was immigrants. That's how we got on this, and we ain't no fucking immigrants. We not only not immigrants, you know, nobody brought us here. You know, we've been here for hundreds of thousands of years. You know, as black Americans, we were just robbed of everything. Robbed of our identity, robbed of everything. And then they brought all you mutts here. You know what I'm saying? For real, they brought all these fucking mutts here and catered to them and gave them all kind of shit and helped them out and did all this shit. And like I told you, the meantime, they holding us back. You know what I'm saying? So you had all these mutts in this country for all these decades looking down on us, comparing themselves to us, seeing us do bad, so that makes them feel good about themselves and their little race. And you know what I'm saying? They're constantly looking out on, not knowing that they did this to us. It's a reason why y'all doing better than us. It was all planned. You know, that's why. Not because y'all motherfuckers better than us. You know, this was all done, you know, by the Caucasians. They did all this shit to us. You know what I'm saying? But that's why now, you know, like, as you see now, the rise of the Planet of the Apes. You know what I'm saying? We rising all over the fucking planet. Meanwhile, the Caucasians are falling off because y'all all dying out. Because like I told you, y'all all just Caucasian. All y'all. All you motherfuckers who call yourselves these different types, y'all all just fucking Caucasian. That's all. Y'all all just fucking Caucasians. Pigs running around this fucking planet. Just pigs, you know, running around this goddamn planet. A bunch of motherfuckers with different titles running around. A bunch of pigs on this planet with motherfucking belief systems, believing in motherfucking beings that was made up. None of these motherfuckers exist. Not one of them exists. Belief system that was made to control y'all. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no fucking God nowhere. These belief systems was made to control all and, you know, keep y'all, you know what I'm saying, a certain way. And, yeah, they say the God is all about love and the religion all about love, but they're controlling y'all with fear. All y'all motherfuckers are afraid, even though the fucking religion and the God supposed to be all about love. And they're controlling y'all with fear and got y'all all in fear. Y'all all scared because the truth is that's the vibration they want their food on. I've been right on that. Keep the vibration. They want y'all on a low fear vibration because that's how they like their food. You know what I'm saying? They like their food weak and wicked on a low vibration. Like they got all y'all. They got all their food on this planet on a low, wicked, weak vibration. And they're using the religions to keep y'all on these relations. I mean, these vibrations and low frequencies. They got y'all all doing bad, got y'all all suffering, and got y'all all scared. You know what I'm saying? So everybody walking around scared of these made up bum ass characters they got, and scared and policing yourself, and thinking suffering is doing good because some outside source is you're gonna reward it at the end, and that's how they got all. That's how they got all y'all. So they use all the belief systems to keep y'all like they are, and y'all food. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Y'all they fucking food. You know what I'm saying? Y'all they fucking food, and all the shit that's going down on this planet, it don't matter. None of this shit matter. Because the truth is y'all all dying the fuck out. So they're not gonna let you just die out. They're gonna keep they're taking you up right now. They taking motherfuckers up as I'm speaking, and they're gonna keep taking them up until motherfuckers gonna look one day and realize more than half the population of this fucking farm is gone. Over 75% of the population of this planet is gone before motherfuckers even realized it. Because motherfuckers been too busy motherfucking looking for answers in a make-believe God, believing in fucking magic, believing in God, going to these motherfucking corporations, working hard, believing in God, working hard, being scared, and doing the same thing every fucking day. Doing the same thing every fucking day because the way the human mind works, the human mind is programmed to look for comfort in repetition. So, that's what you motherfuckers do. Over bloodline after bloodline, believing the same fucking garbage. You got these older motherfuckers teaching the younger generation the same fucking garbage. I mean, the same dogma, straight fucking garbage. That's all it is. All this religion, Islam, Christian, Catholic, Buddhism, it's all straight fucking garbage, bum shit that got each generation in captivity. You know what I'm saying, and slaves. You know what I'm saying? And the older generation keeps the fucking younger generation trapped in this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they thinking they doing the right thing. Because this religion has been going for so long. People cultures and family identities and everything who they are is connected to these bum ass religions. So like letting go of this religion is kind of like letting go everything these motherfuckers is. Because from bloodline after bloodline, they from this shit. They really believe that some guy from their race or just some guy, period, put them here and is watching everything they do and is judging everything they do and protecting them and loves them and is the reason for everything, any success they have. And well, none of that is true. None of it. None of it is true. Ain't no motherfucking God doing a damn thing for you. Ain't a damn thing. Like I said, not a motherfucker. It never has. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what make motherfuckers think it's a guy from their race. I keep telling y'all that. Everybody believes that their fucking bullshit religion is right, and it's a guy from their race. Everybody, what I'm saying, believe their religion is right, and it's a guy from their race. Ain't none of these motherfucking bum ass religions is right, and ain't no such thing as fucking God. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying? All the power is within you. Ain't no fucking outside source you need for nothing. You don't need no outside source for nothing. It's all in you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no outside source for nothing. You know what I'm saying? There is no outside source. Shaka Dudu AKA got a bad guy. And we ain't no fucking immigrants, you mutts out there. You know what I'm saying? We are real humans, the black Americans, the Native Americans.